What's up, everybody, and welcome to Twisted Bard's E3 press conference review show. We just finished watching EA Play, the first press conference of this E3. Really excited that E3 is finally here. Before we get into it, I just want to point you towards our 3 E3 prediction shows, which you can find on youtube.com/twistedbard. We predict what we think is going to happen in the Sony, Microsoft, and Xbox, third-party and Nintendo press conferences. All right, let's get into this. Guys, EA Play, what do we think?
Yeah, about average. What we expected.
Yeah, nothing too exciting. Let's run through it. So this really felt like the year that EA decided that the YouTube creator was going to be their new salesman. Like, they had all these YouTubers there playing the games. It looks like they're really going to be pushing hard from now to go through them, as opposed to like mainstream press, which I guess is another reason why EA Play is a little bit outside of E3. It's kind of a day before that things really start, so they kind of seem to be making that shift.
Yeah, I mean it's a wise move, I think. Trying to get sort of YouTube creators out there.
The only thing that I find that when they start using those YouTuber creators, it always just feels like that people are there like with a shotgun to the back of their heads, like, you know, just saying, like, not going to say, oh yeah, like it was a bit crap.
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
they're
this
always
is
going to
great.
say it was amazing, the most groundbreaking thing.
They flew us to LA so we could play this.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if they do actually enjoy it, then they're going to be most likely to promote it on their channel, like for a long period of time, instead of celebrities who will promote it heavily for like the brief,
a very, very huge audience.
yeah, for like the brief,
yeah, but in
period,
like a
and
very
then
brief
leave it.
window. Whereas these guys will play this game for, you know, possibly a year or more.
Yeah, and if a couple don't like it, they've spread themselves wide enough that some will eventually.
Yeah.
Spread themselves wide enough
with enough money.
And then so they opened the show with Madden. It looks like Madden is going to be getting.
I know nothing about that.
Yeah, well, it looks like Madden is going to be getting a story mode like FIFA's Journey. Then they shot it down to the Creator Cave for some Battlefield 1 stuff. Looks like there's some new DLC, new maps.
Women.
Looks
That's
Yeah.
a lady battalion.
Yep.
That's not what it's called.
I got bored of a Battlefield. I mean, like, it was a good game. I'm not saying like it weren't, but I just got bored maybe after like 2 months of it. It's like, yeah, I'm done now.
Yeah, I never got past the demo. It's just maps are too big for me. I struggle with that kind of game.
Oh.
No. And then they moved on to some eSports. They reminding us how big a deal eSports is, and how much money's involved, and how when you win a shiny plate, you get really happy.
And that professional sports teams are bringing people in to represent them. For esports,
to represent them.
Makes zero sense.
Yeah, well, it's a new avenue to make money, and that's what they're good at, I guess. Go on.
No, I was just saying, esports is one of those things that I've always meant to get on board with, but it's one of those things that I say, yeah, like once I'll get round to watching like a tournament and see if I can get into it, but I never seem to get round to it, so I should.
Yeah, it's one of those things that kind of feels like it's gone over my head, to be honest.
Yeah,
there's this huge community of it going on, and I've got no idea I don't know anything about it, really.
I'm just not that serious into like those games to kind of be e-sporty about it. I just play for enjoyment. I couldn't be competitive. Yeah, that's it. It's a term. You go down.
I'm not so e-sporty.
I'm not e-sporty enough.
Yeah, just head down to your eSports Direct and pick up a pair of trainers or something.
That's going to be the bullying of the future. And then we got FIFA 18, and for some reason, rather than actually telling us about the game, we had 2 men in blazers. They called themselves shouting for a while about literally nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure they're really popular.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
they were very
content
enthusiastic.
is probably really good if you watch it in a context. But man, that was just really a cringeworthy. I hate it when they just try and push humor into these things.
Yeah,
just show the bloody game.
They came out of nowhere and just been like, "We're men in blazers. You should know us. FIFA." And we're like, "Hi, hello."
Yeah,
and then told us nothing.
Yeah.
What about the game whatsoever?
The only thing we know is that there's more player personality.
Yeah.
So Griezmann does skills like Griezmann, and Raheem Sterling runs like an awkward chicken.
Right.
They also told us that basically what we knew, Journey Part 2 was coming. We saw a trailer, I think, for that already, and they showed the same trailer that they'd shown before. That Ronaldo was the cover star. So a bit disappointing considering they've gone hard on FIFA before. So nothing really new there. Then we jumped to Need for Speed Payback, and we met an YouTube creator in person.
YouTube
He was hella awkward. But
Very awkward.
thoughts on the game? GTA meets Fast and Furious meets Burnout.
Pretty much, yeah. That sums it up, really. It was kind of pretty generic for like a Need for Speed game, and it just seems inconvenient. Even though it looks really nice, it seemed clunky.
It looked really pretty. Yeah, I thought it looked really pretty, and they always do. The only thing is, it's just like they're trying to showcase. Obviously, it's a new story way of like doing it, but all it was is driving and cutscenes, which pulls you out of the cockpit. And that's not the point of a driving game. You want to, even though it is like, it's not trying to be like a simulator experience. It's trying to be like a thrilling experience. It's still pulling you out the cockpit to show you really cool car moves that it wants you to perform.
Yeah, and I mean it's like every time you sort of take out an enemy car or whatever, it moves the camera completely away from your car to focus on them moving in slow motion and crashing, so you can't see where you're going, and it just. Like, if you had any rhythm or you had to do something intricate, and you destroy someone at the wrong moment, it could screw you over.
Yeah, there were some really nice bits in there, I think, after that massive explosion, and you were kind of driving, weaving in and out of all the crashed, cars. That looked really, really good. But, just too much taking you out of the experience.
Yeah, no doubt it's going to be, like, a decent game. It's just, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was good enough to create that much hype.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, indeed. And then we moved on to what was definitely by far my favourite part of the show. It was the EA Originals bit. Not the first time they've done this. I think Unraveled was the first EA Original. It's kind of a indie project. They're funding indie projects, kind of part of this way that they're trying to change people's perceptions of EA. And Alistair, I mentioned the prediction shows before. Do you want to tell us about this game?
Yeah, well, I mentioned Hazelight, or Hazellight, as I mentioned in the prediction show, youtube.com/twistedbard prediction show. I said in there, I said Hazelight, but I meant Hazelight, obviously. Don't count me out for that one. I said they bring in
we'll see.
I said they bring out a new IP, similar to Brothers Tale of Two Sons, which is the previous game that they did. And it was just announced, called A Way Out. It seems like a great game, like only split screen, which is amazing. So many games focus on like the multiplayer, like online multiplayer or single player aspect, but this is entirely split screen. Like it seems you have to work in tandem, so you have to be in communication with the other person, so you kind of develop with the characters amongst yourselves and learn your roles. And it seems it seemed like a great setting for that. I mean, it's going to be really, really story based, but kind of the whole prison break aspect to it. This idea that you're working together to get out of prison, and then they showed like all these other outside bits as well. Kind of looked a bit Uncharted-y in some parts. It's really interesting to see if they can make it, if they can make the action feel good, because like Brothers wasn't really an action game. It was kind of a slow-paced, I guess, puzzle. Puzzle game. So they're definitely
like how they do that.
Yeah, they're in like a new area for them, I think, like with a bit more of an action-y game. So it'll be interesting to see how that mechanic works. But there is a lot of an open, not quite an open, it has an open world feel to it, because from the trailer, you're in 3 or 4 different locations, and it does seem like it's going to be quite an expansive game, and yeah, I'm just really interested to see how it will hold out, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, Rob, anything to add?
Yeah, well, the only thing I've got to add, for me, it was the highlight of the whole show, and it just makes me confused that why can't they do more of that instead of just giving us the same trailers that we saw 12 months ago. Yeah,
no, it's true. Why can't they fund more kinds of projects like this and build more of that into the show? Because it does kind of, it feels good to see that kind of game, something different, to have someone on there who's super, super passionate, who's really, really keen about their game and what they're going to achieve. So yeah, no, definitely my highlight. And then we heard about their new research division, the Search for Extraordinary Experience Division, or SEED.
I didn't understand.
I have no idea what that was about.
No,
literally no idea what that was about. Funding new ways to play games or something.
It sounded really
new opportunities.
Futuristic, and it sounded a little bit like the Skynet. So I'm slightly scared. So.
Basically, it kind of sounded like their way of pseudo introducing Scorpio, and then actually that ties into the next game they announced, which was Anthem, BioWare's new IP.
Yeah, they didn't show too much on that. It was literally just like
Yeah, they just said see more at the Xbox conference, which basically it sounds like it's either going to be an Xbox exclusive or it's going to be the game that pushes Scorpio, or one of the games that pushes Scorpio, because he did specifically mention Scorpio, and he was talking about how it pushes games further than they've ever been pushed before, and it sounds like all Microsoft marketing lingo for the Scorpio. So
because the trailer like seemed very sort of graphic-y instead of like, because some of them like, oh, this is the cool gameplay that you might be expecting with like a little cinematic clip of someone shooting, but this one was just like scenery, mechanics, scenery.
Yeah, and it was all kind of set in space, so you imagine it's going to be an like a I don't know, Dragon Age in space.
Yeah,
which I thought was Mass Effect, but
it had
this
like
is Dragon Age in space meets Destiny.
Yeah, some Destiny, Titanfall, monstery vibe to it. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to hear more about that.
Yeah, definitely, it's one of those things that you're like, okay, I want to see more about that.
One to keep an eye on.
And then they really upped the tone by going to NBA Live.
Apparently, you can dribble with the right stick.
Yeah, you can use the sticks to dribble.
You can block with the other one.
Yeah, you use your sticks.
Yeah, I have nothing to add.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that we hate sports games. That's not the case. It's just
they are the same pretty much every year.
It's just really difficult to show on a stage. Like they're the kind of thing where you have to play them and feel them. And then we moved on to a little bit about charities they're supporting. It sounds like more of, hey, we're not the worst company in the universe. But no, that's great. Like you can't knock a organization for raising $1 million or whatever for charities. That's
they're basically
great.
like, we may make you pay for DLC the entire time, but we kind of like that money's going to charity. So technically, you buy all our DLCs. You're
I can imagine. Yeah, the first bit of DLC for Battlefront will be the charity DLC, where basically you just give them money to give to somebody else. And then they also announced a little bit about Origin Access, or basically free games this week, free EA games. I think I saw the original Battlefront, Battlefield 1 maybe, was that there?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's going to be a bunch of EA games for free that you can on all consoles, so through EA Origin, EA Access, whatever it is, and then also they're PS4. Putting some free stuff on the PS4 as well on the PlayStation Store.
I definitely,
that was great. EA. This is it's a time when a lot of companies do this around E3. They're like, this game's available now, or the demo's out now, or free stuff to play. Can't complain.
EA just went, have a load of our stuff, and I think I might actually download Battlefront and the first one and give that a go for a few days for free.
Yeah, definitely. And then they ended kind of. I mean, I don't want to say on a low note, because obviously people are crazy excited for this, but I was hoping to see some more Star Wars stuff, but they ended on Battlefront 2. They gave us a tiny glimpse of the story mode, basically the same trailer we've already seen, plus I think it was literally a 12-second trailer or something, with a little bit more info, but it was pretty much all about multiplayer, and we even saw a full 30-minute gameplay session.
Wouldn't you guys have just much more appreciated like a 10, like, well, not even that, like a 5-minute story gameplay trailer?
Oh yeah, literally,
that would have got me really excited.
Anything to show what's actually new, not hey, this is just the same thing as before, but the updates that we've made.
Because their multiplayer just seemed like it was a let's play on a grander scale, going, hey, the multiplayer, like, you know how it works now, so watch another 15 minutes of it.
And after the show, they've got they're doing stuff, aren't they? They're showing other games and stuff on their YouTube channel. It feels like they could have done that afterwards and actually been, hey, here's some story stuff.
Yeah.
Here's all the new stuff, and then stick around after the show to watch, all these guys play. Like, I don't know, I didn't need to sit there and watch a half an hour game of like Battlefront 2 online. We know it's going to be, the first one, but better with new modes and new stuff, and it still looks stupidly good, and it's still Star Wars, so it's exciting.
It showed some really good stuff though, like from the things that we saw in terms of the multiplayer, in terms of like the class choosing, be able to choose like your different one and be able to customize that. And I do like the points based system they've got for getting like vehicles or like heroes and stuff, in the sense that as opposed to just picking up like a coin, the more you work the objective and stuff, like you earn battle points, which you then spend on perks and stuff. I
thought that was a really, really good aspect, and they brought in droids. You could play as droids, which is pretty fun. And they had like the objective system was almost like a 3-phase deal, where it was just like
a bit Overwatchy.
Like move the
like operations.
Move the payload to a point, then like capture the point, then kill. In a sense,
it looks incredible, but we knew that So it would have been nice to see things
Something else.
that we don't know.
Yeah, I would have
Things
loved.
that we want, not the things that we know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have loved to see a bit more about the story. But I mean, the multiplayer in itself, like what they showed, kind of does make me want to buy the game and then just hope that they put enough into the story mode that it'll be good instead of like a 15-minute tutorial story mode that
Yeah,
they
I guess
this is what it is.
the concern is like, you know, if we show a lot of this, like if we show even 5 minutes of the story mode, how much of the story mode are we ruining? Like, I don't know how long it's going to be. Also, you know, we saw the Sony logo flash up before all the trailers for this. I'm sure the story mode stuff will all be on at Sony's press conference. I'd be shocked if we didn't see like a proper story trailer or even a little bit of story gameplay at Sony's conference. That's it. Just with this being a little bit outside of E3 as well, I think that's the one that's going to have, you know, a lot of traction. So that would, I guess that would make sense.
I think a lot of EA was just like, here's a little bit of a teaser and you're going to see it in the main ones.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So that was their press conference, the EA press conference. Do you guys want to give a little score out of 10 and maybe a little bit of reasoning behind your score?
Yes, well, I mean, I'm assuming this is out of 10 loots because we all love our loots here.
We do everything in loots.
And I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 loots. It was, I'm going to say it was average. I mean, we expected it. We expected all the sports games to be announced, and obviously I expected everything else because in the prediction show I'm amazing. You Nostradamus of Twisted Bard. It's going to be repeated.
It's going to shoehorn that into everything, aren't you?
I'm getting that everywhere. But yeah, it was there was nothing amazingly exciting to give it anything like above the rest, but it didn't disappoint, but it was average.
Rob?
Yeah, I am going to score this, and I'm not going to use the loot scale because I appreciate what work that takes from the editing point of view. So I'm just going to go with a number.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a score of a 3 out of 10.
3,
Personally,
ooh, slow.
Personally, for me, EA we're an hour and a quarter. What a showcase to us! What they're doing in the next year, and I appreciate they can scatter a few more in a Sony and a PlayStation. I mean, a Sony and a Microsoft. But where was the substance? There was none. So no.
Okay, fair enough.
Poor.
All right, and I think I'd probably go with 4.5. Just somewhere almost in the middle there. I agree, like we knew all of this, like they have to show their sports stuff. It's fine, I have no problem with that. I just feel we've been doing this for so long that there should be a way for you to show us your sports stuff that actually shows off how good it is or what's changed or what's different or why it's relevant. So many missed opportunities, especially the FIFA one. It's just what's going on. And so that would have been a 4. Well, I probably would have gone with you, but I'm going to give it a 3, but I'm going to give it a 1.5 more points just for how good A Way Out looked. And the truth, that's the one thing from this conference that I didn't know about that I'm now really excited about, looking forward to, and I want to get into.
I would like to retract my earlier statement and just give it 5 generic points instead of loots.
5 generic points it is.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. That was our EA review show for the EA Play press conference. We're going to be reviewing all of the shows coming up, and you can see them all on youtube.com/twistedbard, as well as our prediction shows for E3, then a post show for E3. We're just going E3. It's going to be great. Have a great week, everybody. E3, it's here.